In today's world, we are all aware of the importance of drinking water for our health. But what if we told you that the water we are drinking from plastic bottles may not be as clean and healthy as we think it is? With an estimated $13 billion in annual sales in the US alone, this is a booming industry. However, despite its popularity, there are serious environmental impacts associated with bottled water consumption that often go overlooked. Though it might not save the plane, it will sure help our channel if you subscribe to this channel and like this video. Here's a list of 4 shocking facts about water bottles you probably weren't aware of. And if you stick around until the end, we'll share with you 3 tips on how you can be healthier and help the planet. Number 1. Astronomical amount of waste. According to the United Nations, the world produces more than 300 million tons of plastic each year, and at least 8 million tons of it ends up in the oceans. Single-use plastic bottles are among the biggest culprits. Every day, millions of single-use plastic bottles are used and thrown away. The bottles are made from polyethylene terephthalate, PET, which is a type of plastic that takes hundreds of years to decompose. As a result, the plastic bottles pile up in landfills and endanger wildlife. The amount of waste created by single-use plastic bottles is alarming. According to a recent study, the world uses about 500 billion single-use plastic bottles a year. That's more than 1 million bottles a minute. To put it into perspective, if we were to stretch out all the plastic bottles used in 1 year, it would encircle the globe more than 4 times. Not only are single-use plastic bottles clogging up landfills and polluting the oceans, but they're also wasting resources. It takes approximately 3 liters of water to produce 1 liter of bottled water. This means that the world is using 1.5 trillion liters of water to produce 500 billion plastic bottles. Single-use plastic bottles are also a costly item. More than $100 billion is spent on bottled water each year, which exceeds the amount spent on soda. It's estimated that each person spends an average of $1,400 a year on bottled water. Number 2. Harmful toxins. It is important to be aware that bottled water can contain harmful toxins that can have detrimental effects on your health. The primary source of toxins in bottled water is the plastic container itself. Plastic bottles contain a variety of chemicals such as bisphenol A, BPA, phthalates, and other additives. These chemicals can leach into the water, leading to a range of health issues. For example, BPA has been linked to an increase in certain types of cancer, infertility, and obesity. Phthalates have been linked to hormone disruption, birth defects, and impaired fertility. In addition to the chemicals that are leached from the plastic containers, some bottled water also contains dangerous pollutants. These include pesticides, heavy metals, and microplastics that can enter your system and cause health problems. In fact, some studies have revealed that some bottled water contains up to 10 times the amount of pollutants found in tap water. It is also important to note that bottled water may not always be as safe as it is purported to be. In fact, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has found that some bottled water companies are not always following good manufacturing practices. This means that their water may not be as safe or pure as claimed. Number 3. Impact on our hormones. Plastic can have negative impacts on our health, particularly our hormones. Our hormones are chemical messengers that control many of the body's processes, and any disruption to them can have serious consequences. The primary source of this disruption comes from the chemicals found in plastics, such as bisphenol A, BPA, and phthalates. BPA is used to make polycarbonate plastics that are found in many consumer goods, such as water bottles and food containers. Phthalates are used to make plastic softer and more flexible, and are used in many children's toys, food packaging, and cosmetics. Both BPA and phthalates have been linked to endocrine disruption. This means that they can interfere with how hormones are released and received, as well as how they function. This disruption can affect the production of hormones such as estrogen and testosterone, which can lead to infertility, cancer, and other health issues. It's not just BPA and phthalates that can be problematic. Plastics can also contain other chemicals, such as flame retardants, that can also disrupt hormones. Studies have shown that exposure to these chemicals can increase the risk of health problems such as obesity, diabetes, and even hormonal imbalances in children. Number 4. Water companies are unregulated. With companies like Nestlé, Coca-Cola, and PepsiCo dominating the market, they are able to make huge profits from their products, but the lack of regulation leaves consumers vulnerable to purchasing water that could be contaminated with pollutants or even toxins. So, why don't the companies have to abide by the same standards as other food and beverage companies? Well, the answer lies in the fact that bottled water companies are not subject to the same regulations as other food and beverage companies. For example, companies that produce canned and packaged foods must adhere to the FDA's food safety guidelines. This means that the companies must test their products for contaminants and make sure that they meet certain standards of quality. However, bottled water companies don't have to follow any of these rules and regulations. Another reason why bottled water companies are often unregulated is because the laws surrounding bottled water are not as stringent as other food and beverage products. This means that companies can pretty much do whatever they want in terms of what goes into their bottled water. For instance, many companies use tap water for their bottled water, which may or may not be contaminated with pollutants. Finally, bottled water companies are able to bypass the costly and often time-consuming process of obtaining a permit to sell their products. This makes it even easier for them to make huge profits while avoiding being regulated. Now it's time to take some action. If you'd like to avoid all of the personal and global problems associated with single-use plastics, then here are a few tips to help you become a part of the solution. Tips for limiting consumption. Tip number 1. Carry reusable water bottles. Reusable water bottles are an essential part of living an eco-friendly lifestyle. The average American uses 167 single-use plastic bottles every year, and less than half of them are recycled. That means that more than 80 billion single-use plastic bottles end up in landfills and oceans each year, polluting our environment and taking centuries to break down. Carrying a reusable water bottle is one of the easiest ways to reduce your environmental impact. By investing in a quality water bottle, you can reduce your reliance on single-use plastic bottles, saving you money and reducing the amount of plastic waste in our environment. Tip number 2. Water filters. Water filters are becoming increasingly popular as an alternative to single-use water bottles. These filters provide clean, safe drinking water without the environmental impact of disposable bottles. There are many different types of water filters available for purchase, allowing you to get the best filter for your needs. One popular option is a filter that attaches to your kitchen faucet. These filters are easy to install and provide a convenient way to filter your water quickly. Another option is a pitcher filter, which can be filled with water and then filtered as you pour it into your glass. These filters are a great option for those who don't have the space or the need for a filter that attaches to the faucet. Many water filters are also designed to fit in your refrigerator for easy access. This makes it easier to access clean, filtered water without having to leave the comfort of your home. Tip number 3. Water dispensers. Water dispensers offer the convenience of having purified water available on tap. Most of them use a reverse osmosis system to purify water from the tap, removing any contaminants and impurities. This is a much better way to get access to clean and safe drinking water than single-use water bottles. Another great advantage of using a water dispenser is that you don't have to worry about running out of water. They are usually connected to a water supply, so you can always have access to a steady stream of water. This also means that you won't have to keep going to buy more single-use plastic bottles, which are both bad for the environment and your wallet. Best of all, water dispensers offer more control over the temperature of your water. This is especially useful for those who like to make their coffee or tea with hot water. You can easily choose the temperature of the water according to your preference, making it a much more enjoyable experience. There you have it. Are you prepared to leave single-use plastic water bottles in the past? Leave your answer in the comments below. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe so that health can go viral. Infinite Health Remedies exists to help you find your optimal health. I hope you enjoyed this content. Stay tuned for more videos on how to improve your health. Eat well. Live long.